Tell me the deal, Rob. I'm trying to record stuff, and like everybody else, when we turn on low latency monitoring mode, all the plugins get muted. So you invented something. What were you telling me about?
Yeah, so Pro Tools has low latency monitoring mode, and what it does is it makes it so that you don't hear yourself on input, and you're supposed to only hear yourself through the hardware low latency monitoring of whatever audio interface you have. But the rub with Pro Tools low latency monitoring mode is that it disables all your plugins, and that's super annoying because you want to record with whatever you want to hear playback in place with reverb and everything else you have going on. So you don't want to use low latency monitoring mode because it disables your plugins. So then you say, okay, I'm going to monitor through Pro Tools, but then there's a whole bunch of latency, and that sucks because latency sucks. So then you go into your playback engine and you knock your hardware buffer down to 32 milliseconds or whatever you want, super low, and now your whole computer and your Pro Tools system's unstable. So that sucks too. So what we did is we said, all right, let's put a plugin on the end of your channel that you're recording onto, and let's mute when you're stopped, so you only hear yourself through the low latency monitor of your hardware. Mute when you're recording, so you only hear yourself during the low latency monitor while you're recording. And unmute when you really want to hear it is just during playback. And that way you can have all your plugins on playback, and you don't have to keep on muting and unmuting a channel, and you don't have to deal with an unstable low hardware buffer. And it's a really great setup.
I love that. Show me what it looks like in your plugin here. I'm going to throw on the Pro Tools screen so you can see it.
Right, so that's the mute on plugin right there. And then you want to use that in the last plugin slot on whatever channel you're recording onto. And we actually have a preset that's called low latency monitor fix, I think. If you click on the preset menu, what's it called?
Low latency monitor fix. That's the first one on the preset
Boom.
Menu.
And what it does is it sets the playback to unmute, and it sets the stop and the record to mute. So you notice if you record arm that track now, and right now we're stopped, so you can see that green is stopped. And if you hit play, the green will highlight on the top one if you hit play really quick, and it's now green, which is unmuted. And if you hit stop again and then hit record, it'll go and jump to the middle one.
Yep.
And great. But now go into quick punch, and you'll notice it works perfectly. So you can quick punch right into it. I can hear the playback right up to the moment and then punch, and it'll mute.
Gotcha. So if I'm just playing the track, now I hit punch, I see the mute, boom, as soon as I hit the punch. I love that, man. This is killer.
Yep.
I like this. This is going to be so helpful because, I mean, I use an RME UFX3, and it's nice to be able to add the effects, but I only want to use those in monitoring, and I typically want to hear a clean signal when I'm listening back to make sure the performance was nice, and now I don't have to mute and unmute Pro Tools.
Or you want to hear it through some plugins so you can hear exactly how it's kind of sitting in your mix.
Exactly.
And, yeah.
Exactly. So either way, works nice. That's cool, man. I got to try this out.
Yeah.
I have not tried this yet, but this is necessary.
It's all part of the Source Nexus suite. So like that's just one of the plugins, and then there's, as you know, the router and literally the gateway that we're on right now, and Nexus IO and all the other stuff that the review plugin. So there's a few things in suite, but this is just one of them. And this is just one of the things you can do with Mute On. I use it for other fun stuff, like when I'm recording a remote talent and I've got people listening in on the gateway, and when I go into record, I don't want all the producers and everybody, like, they're saying, oh, that's a good take, that's a bad take, and I don't want all that to go to the talent's headphones. So I have it automatically mute the clients from going to the talent's headphones when I go into record, so the talent can focus on what they're doing. So there's a whole lot of stuff you can do with the Mute On plugin. This is just one of the problems it solves.
That is sweet, man. Yeah, every video I make, I use the Source Nexus IO, and I have been since I started making my videos because it's the easiest way to send everything into OBS to record. So that's, and every time I give a lesson, I use the gateway. So it's, I definitely, it's great stuff. It's awesome to have a plugin that works as well. So thanks, man. This is a killer idea, and that I have to try, because that's one thing that's annoying is I'm constantly clicking mute and unmute to hear the playback, and that's very cool, dude.
I call it octopus arms. You go into record and you're like mute, unmute, like all this crap you got to do. It's just like,
yeah. No, this is excellent because, like you said, these things are made easier when you have a Pro Tools rig, and a lot of people, myself included, like I don't want to have a Pro Tools rig because they make me. I'd rather,
Yeah, I mean, obviously, if you have a Pro Tools HDX system, then that's all that hardware, low latency, and it's like you feel like everything is instantaneous. But the setup is a lot bigger. You can't really do that with a laptop very easily without dragging around a PCI card.
right.
Like there's a lot of reasons why it's not always feasible to have that. So yeah.
Very cool. Thanks for talking to me about it. And I hope
Thank
if
you.
you guys have any questions or anything, throw them in the comments, send them over. I'll make sure, Rob sees it as well.
Yeah.
Maybe he
you
can
go
help
to
out.
source-elements.com if you want to. That's where we are.
Excellent. Well, any other stuff about, this stuff coming out new? I know we were talking earlier about a way to capture multiple video stuff. When do you think something like that'll be out? You said it was in beta or something.
We're hoping for that kind of podcast stuff to be first or second quarter of next year, I think.
Very cool.
Hopefully beta first quarter, release second quarter, I'm guessing. Now that I said that, it won't happen, but yeah.
Well, I'm excited to try it, because I'm about to get into these interviews like I was talking to you about, and it'd be cool to have something work, for people like me who just want to hit record and have everything nice and easy on an interview.
That's the idea.
So,
absolutely.
Excellent. Well, thanks for
thanks for
talking to
having
me,
me.
Rob. Yeah,
Yeah,
awesome,
thank you.
man. Yeah, so talk soon. Evan Jaffe, Custom Cut Studios. You guys got this. Take it easy. All right, so
Awesome.
that's
I think I
the
was
whole
clipping
thing.
a little bit. Hopefully it's not too bad. Did I clip in there?
I think it was like -5. I think you're okay. But yeah, I'll look at it. If it sounds like shit or something, I'll make an executive call to not fucking, put it up if it sucks. But I bet what we did was fine. Like that's all.
I think that was cool. If you want, shoot that over to me as well, and I can get that onto our socials and get
excellent
crossed over.
Dude, I love it. Why not? Yeah. And I mean, I didn't say it on the video, but I'll probably start the video with a little bit of an intro before it goes in. And my guys know I don't do fucking like I don't do sponsorship like buy this, try this. So people will be like, this is new, and I would preface the whole video before you even come on by being like, listen, this is something I use. So I just happen to be talking to the dude who builds this stuff, and I wanted to share it with you guys because this is not a paid sponsorship of any kind. So it's very cool. I appreciate it, Rob.
You.
Well, thanks for always jumping on a call when I need you too, man. It's pretty awesome to me.
Yeah, I try to like like email me anytime. I'll jump in as quickly as I can, and dude, I'll tell you what that call was about because you'll dig this. So you know how they have those player piano systems like a Yamaha Disclavier?
Yeah.
Okay.
Kinda.
They're fucking
Disclavier.
They're bank. Yeah, like it's like Yamaha makes a piano that has a whole built-in player system. So that you can, and you know how people are. They come in, they play, they fuck up, and they're like, "Can I fix that?"
Right.
But then you can fix that in MIDI, but you can't really get that back to your acoustic piano.
Mm-hmm.
So these player systems will take MIDI in from your DAW and just like play that piano, literally, because they just have a shitload of solenoids and shit. They're solenoids like built into the piano. They're fucking bank. They're like $12,000, and you got to send your piano off to these people, and they cut your piano up like they hacksaw it, and it's just crazy. Yeah. So, but when you look at it, it's just this like system of solenoids with these plungers that like pop up and down and push the key. Right. That's all they are.
Right.
So I was looking at one of these, and I saw one of those for sale, just the guts of it, and I was like, why can't you take that thing and flip it upside down? And instead of pushing the keys from the back, from inside the piano, like they're back here pushing up and up, which makes the key go down, why not take that whole mechanism and put it over the top of the keyboard and then just push the keys down?
Interesting.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's like this big metal bar with all these solenoids that are designed to go inside the piano. And I finally got a hold of one of these guys that does the install. And I'm like, this is when I was like muted and I went off the phone. I'm like, dude, first of all, I know you think I'm crazy, but can I hire you to take one of these systems and like butcher it to go over the top of the keyboard and push all the fucking keys instead of doing it from within the piano. And the guy was cool. He's like, never done it before. I won't make you any guarantees, but why the fuck not?
Interesting. And the purpose for that is exactly what? Like what's
So
the
like
reasoning?
people, okay, so the first way this came up is my daughter is in college now. And so she's writing all these songs, but all the pianos in the practice rooms at college suck ass. They sound like
Hmm.
shit.
Yeah.
And she's playing and whatever. I bought like Waves Rhapsody or whatever. It sounds
Mhm.
okay. It's not the fucking same, you know. It's
Mhm.
just not
Mhm.
a real piano.
Yeah.
So the idea is that she can record her stuff, send me the Logic file. I'll go mic up the piano, throw this thing on the top of the keys,
Oh.
and record it, like reamping a piano,
Fucking cool.
re-performing, you
I
know?
love it. That's actually a
Because
very
people
cool
do
idea.
this. Yeah, like
Yeah.
people do this. They have like, you know, like record on my $1 trillion Steinway,
Mhm.
but I'm not going to pay like $250 every time I want to do a track for her. And
Right,
B,
right.
maybe I can also charge people like, you know, $100 or whatever.
Interesting.
Send me your piano. Send me your. And who knows? You can even maybe take this whole rig if we do it right and throw it on top of a Rhodes, or
Dude, it's very
whatever.
interesting. That's interesting, man. So like that's the guy was receptive to your
The
idea.
guy was receptive to it. He's like, "Yeah, I install these things, and I've never done that." And really, the thing that he said was the biggest problem is that like the way it works is there's a solenoid, there's a plunger that goes into it, and the plunger pushes the key.
Yeah.
And he's
Yeah.
like, the way it works is those plungers that sit there. When you take the whole thing and flip it upside down, all the plungers will fall out. So we just have to find a way to get those plungers to go in there, stay in there, but not like jam up the solenoid.
Interesting.
That's
That's
the
crazy.
main thing. Yeah.
When you first started talking about that, I started thinking, how is this gonna like adjust analog gear so that we don't have to buy digitally recallable stuff? We could use analog hardware, but yet not. That's all I kept thinking was like, how is this going to get there? Because I thought that's where you were going with it when you started.
There is a company. Who's that? They're a company in Colorado that has that. You know, like you can like hire a Fairchild over the internet, and
Yes,
they basically
that I've
like,
seen.
took all the knobs off of it, and they just put like actuators on the knobs, and you can just like go rent a Fairchild for like $30 an hour.
I've seen that. You know,
Yeah.
I think there needs to be a way that we can somehow like you know, you're a type of mind who might come up with something like this, but I keep trying to come up with a way to like twist the knobs without me twisting them. Like how to like you said, without compromising the integrity of the gear by changing stuff. Because
Yeah.
the beauty of owning this shit is reselling it one day if you want or not. But
Correct.
if you fuck
Yep.
with it, you can't touch it.
The
So
analog stuff keeps its value. Yep. Yeah, I don't know. You know, because like the problem is like every knob is a different size,
mm-hmm.
and that company actually patented that system. It's funny, they patented it, but they don't sell it, which is like, what the fuck? That's the whole point of a patent, is
Right.
to be able to sell your shit. So like they patented it, and now they're like, no one else can do it. But I don't think that maybe they're selling a lot of time on their Fairchilds, but I would think the way to multiply their money is to just like sell those little actuators, you know.
Interesting, yeah.
So yeah, I don't. There's got to be a way with like an Arduino and a little fucking thing to.
Yeah,
turn
we
the
got
knob.
if we got robots fucking building Mars, we can't get a little of this, a little twist.
Totally.
That's
Yeah.
all we need is a freaking. I was almost thinking like, what could you make a mold out of that you could put smack on top of that, and then
Of a knob, yeah.
just
So
like
I think the way to do it is with a roller, like a little rubber roller, and you get it on there, but somehow you need like a point of like holding it still, you know,
yeah,
so that like think of it like a tape deck with a pinch roller. And you just like flip that bitch onto there, and now the roller can just like roll that knob, because you know how you do it with your finger, right? You just put your finger on the top of the knob and roll it.
right.
So yeah, you could maybe do it with a roller, but it's so hard because like gear is like so diverse, and you know, think about like an SSL. There's like no fucking space between the knobs.
Yeah, there's so much. There's
like
so much to
how you gonna
this.
get in there?
So
Yeah.
much to this, man. It's yeah. Like it'd be great if you could just from the top, like read the inside, and then it would. I don't even know, man. I don't like every time I start to think about this, my fucking head starts to hurt. But it's
Here'd be a great one. You know those those toys that you have where they have a whole shitload of like needles, and then you put your hand in it, and it makes
yeah,
like a
yeah,
relief. Imagine
exactly.
you just like shove that thing on the front of your gear, and
Yes,
somehow it
yes,
like just grabs all the knobs.
yes. It's exactly what I'm
That'd be
saying.
cool.
Like that,
Yeah.
because then it's not corrosive. It's not like a glue to make a mold, but it's a mold that
Yep.
then you feed into a machine. So in other words, you could do that with every faceplate of all your gear. And then you give it to like a big R2D2, like one of those EMT 240 fucking things that look like R2D2 for reverb. But it's a
Hmm.
machine that's sole job is to power these things. So maybe you leave the
Yeah.
faceplate on it, but it just has a wire that connect like all your fucking shit has wires coming off it. So now you can't touch it, but at the same time, it's digitally recallable. So I don't know. That might be amazing.
There's probably there's probably like an even way smarter way to do it. Like
I know.
I bet you there's just a way with AI just to get
Mm-hmm.
like some sort of thing that has like an arm and two fingers and a
Mm-hmm.
camera, and you just sit there with the thing. And you're like, this is an EMT 250. This is the delay time. This is, and the thing just like, okay, I know what all that
Mm-hmm.
shit is. Like,
Mm-hmm.
it just like reaches out like little
Smart.
studio droid. That'd be pretty amazing because
Found.
the tape is like a compressor limiter. Is the
Right.
main thing that it is. It's just like a really funky, like it's like this compressor that's a weird variable knee.
Yep.
Depending on how hot you get into it, the curve changes,
Yep.
and like there's all those UA plugins and things that try to emulate it, but it's the same thing like the piano. It's just kind of, it sort of does it. It sounds like a piano, but it's like not the same thing as like recording that piano, and it's not the same thing as going through a tape deck. It's really funny, actually. I have a friend who recorded like all this shit. He did like Edgar Winters and all this shit in the 60s and 70s and whatnot. And he's like, you guys are all fucking crazy because in the 70s, we couldn't stand tape. It was noisy. It was problematic. All this
Yeah.
shit. And then we get digital, and it's awesome. And you guys all want that tape. And you're all fucking stupid because really what you're in love with is the sound of a tape deck that hasn't been calibrated in 3 weeks. He's like, that's
So
the
accurate.
sound.
So accurate. That's interesting. Yeah, hitting tape hard is why things sound good, though. Like, I mean, the Foo Fighters stuff. If you heard like that album with Everlong and My Hero and all that, like,
Yeah, it's like so loud, but it's not crunched. It's
and there's
but it's
there's
not.
there's no compression other than hitting that fucking half-inch Ampex like ATR 102 really hard on mixdown. You know, they may have
Yeah.
used but like when recording they did whatever, but like there's a whole video, the guy who mixed it, I forget his name, was talking about how like Dave Grohl insisted he didn't use any compression during the mix. They liked the sound enough. So he's like, okay, well, what do I do? He's like, well, I just hit the freaking tape machine really fucking hard.
And there's your compression. Yeah.
Yeah, and it just fucking sounds amazing. You know, he did a lot of shit.
That is an amazing sound. Yeah.
The whole
that
album
is,
sounds
like,
amazing.
powerful. Yeah.
But like also, My Hero is double track drums. Like there's two. He doubled the drums. So like you never
didn't
know
know
that
that.
until you listen to it. You listen to it again, you'll hear certain flams, especially on like the intro when it's double track.
No shit. I
And he's
didn't know
so
that.
tight. He's so tight that
Yeah.
you can't tell unless you hear it in solo, and then it's like, oh, that's interesting. Like that's what he's doing. So good. One of the takes is done in a fucking garage or something, which is why it sounds huge. The other one's done in another room in the studio that was like a little tighter, but it's really cool. It's fucking cool.
Yeah.
To hear that stuff.
And Dave Grohl played drums on that album?
Yeah,
Or no?
he played.
No,
Yeah,
he did.
He played drums on that whole album, dude. He played drums.
And he also did guitar then, or no?
Yeah, he
He
played.
did. Yeah, he's a
yeah.
monster. Fuck
And
yeah.
they tracked the whole thing, and then they determined they didn't quite get it, so they did it again. They did the whole thing again. Yeah.
Wow.
But at that point they were so dialed in that it was like easy peasy to do it a second time, but they just determined that they didn't quite get it the first time. I found that interesting. I was like, wow.
Wow.
That's a crazy dedication to like the sound in your head, you know? do a whole album again.
That's half of it. That's half of what I tell everybody, which is like, everyone's like, how do you do this and how do you do that? And when I like, especially for mastering, you're listening to something, and if you can't hear where you want to take it, then you can't start grabbing knobs and turning shit. It's not going to reveal itself to you.
Yep.
Like if you don't are like,
So
I
true.
need to hear it brighter. I need to hear it whatever, more compressed. If you don't have an image of what you can take it to,
Yep.
fucking flipping knobs and shit isn't gonna like do it. You're just gonna mess it up.
Agreed. It's so true, dude. It's
Yeah.
yeah. I always tell people it's like you gotta do your best to sort of not just turn shit because you did it in the past. Like you can't
Right.
always just
It's
fucking
so
boost
easy to get
8K
in
on
that
a vocal.
groove.
You can always
Yeah.
be like, what is that? You always boost 8K
Yeah,
on a
like,
vocal? You always cut 300 hertz?
Dump 400 on the drums. Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly.
No, I hate that way of thinking. I just like
Yeah. It's funny. You always find yourself getting into those same ruts too. It's like you have to fight yourself because sometimes you're just like, like and
yeah.
you are going through muscle memory. Yeah, you're right. But
It's the
I mean,
worst.
what painter do you think like some painter, especially if they're painting from a memory, you think like they have a subject or they have an idea of what they're creating. They're not just like painting blind.
Exactly. And they don't just like always add fucking 50 hertz to the kick drum. Like it's so crazy to me.
Right.
Maybe the
Yeah.
kick has enough 50 hertz. Maybe it doesn't
Exactly.
need it.
Or if you've ever been in this crazy situation, like you want a slamming kick, sometimes you just want that bright part of the kick, and then you need the bass to be bassy.
Yup. Yup.
And then that makes that like that interaction that makes it happen. But if you just boost the fuck out of the kick, all it does is make your compressors pump. And
Yup.
yeah, it's like
It's true.
it's funny. Sometimes like it's all very counterintuitive. Sometimes.
100%. 100%. And
Yeah.
none of the shit sounds the same on everybody. Like we said, depending on how you recorded, what gear you ran through, will determine like what it already has. Like every time I run anything through the Neve shit that's behind me, like these old school like fucking 70s Neves, every time I run through any of it, it sounds more weighty, more depth to it, and it'll have a nice shine on top. And I don't have to do hardly anything. Just fucking put it through there and
Just
make
run
sure
through there, yeah.
make sure I'm cranking the input a bit, and it just I don't need to do much once that happens. And it's interesting, but if you don't go through that, I find myself in the DAW just like working like crazy, and that's why I'm leaning on the hybrid
Right,
workflow.
and then you get closer to it, but you never find it in the same way that you don't find it with the drums going through the tape deck. It's like you're always like, I know what this can sound like because 20 years ago I recorded drums through a tape deck, and I know what they should sound like.
Yeah, it's true. It's funny, but yeah, we're like, I remember what a good drum set sounds like, and some people never know.
Yeah.
They just never have heard it, so they don't know. But I don't know. It's hard.
Dude, you used to just take like a fucking board with like a little 3-band EQ,
Yeah.
a D112,
Yeah.
or that's even a shitty kick mic, but whatever, and it would just work. And yeah, it's so much of a fight now. It's true. It's like
It's
unless
crazy.
you're yeah, digital is kind of it's like a blessing and a curse, It's like
Yeah. I find myself feeling things are very harsh and very like super obviously like brick wall limited and like things that are very focused on volume. People are fucking trying to get volume at the sake of the audio, so they're just making things sound worse. I don't know. There's a lot of stuff going on.
but you go back to like Tom Petty Wildflowers and Echo, and like some of those I think are just like recorded so well.
Yeah. And the older you go back, you find like this magic of like so much less. The older you go back, you realize how much less they had, and they still made it work.
Yeah. Dude, the other day I was listening to like Beach Boys, like it was Pet Sounds or Smile, I can't remember.
Yeah.
And I just remember thinking like it's so good, and it's just like a Pultec and a UA 610 is like I know that's all they did,
Yeah.
And it's like it's so funny because it's like those 30s camera pictures where it's like it's just hazy enough that everyone's skin looks perfect, but you buy
Yeah,
it. You buy it that it's good. It's like it's the same thing. It's like
it's interesting.
Brian Wilson's vocal sounds great, but there's no like lip smacking popping. You
Right.
only hear what you want to hear. It doesn't sound processed. It's just like, how the fuck did they do that?
So true. Yeah, and it's that less factor. It's the Beatles
hmm
having like one Fairchild, so they run everything through it, and they keep bouncing down because they only have 4 tracks. So as a
Yep,
result, everything keeps going through the same Fairchild. By the end of it, it's like 8 times. Some things get
totally.
Fairchild and Fairchilded and Fairchilded, and
Fair childhood. Yep.
it's and some stuff is just and then you get stuff like some Zeppelin stuff where Glyn Johns just fucking all about mic placement, and some of it was by accident. It's crazy.
Yeah. I mean, I was
But
talking to Alan Parsons, and he was talking about how no, his singer was telling me that Alan's got like all these mics, like C12s and all this shit,
yeah,
and half the time he's using a bunch of Audio Technica mics or something. And he's like, "Why, Alan? Why are you using that shit?" And
yeah,
he's like, "Cause it's the mic that works. Like
right,
all that old vintage shit, it's all broken, and you can't rely on it, right?" He's like,
yeah,
and then he's basically like the right mic in the right or no like but basically the first, I forget how he phrased it, but the placement is first,
mm-hmm,
then it's the right mic,
yeah,
and then like right mic being dynamic or condenser, etc., and then
yeah.
after that you can start dicking around with like, ooh, my U87 or my 414 or whatever like, but by the time you get to that point everyone's like, can we record already,
It's
like
true. Yeah, no, what you said's true. I never really thought about it like that, but yes, if you have the greatest mic ever, but it's like pointing at the drummer's like butthole, like it's not going to sound,
it doesn't
you know,
matter. Yeah.
it's not going to sound the same, but like if you're recording an acoustic guitar and it's pointing at like some weird crazy place, like the freaking pinky toe, it's not going to work. Like it needs to be in the right place. So the placement
It's the
first,
first thing. Yeah, placement
then
first.
then
The
what
type of
mic?
mic.
Yeah, because
The
like
type.
everyone knows any mic is like what I always tell people when they're like, "Is this mic good enough for this?" I'm like, "Look, if you have one mic, it's good enough, and any mic is technically good enough. Then it gets just a question of how much better and how much better, and then it's personal taste, and a little flavor this way, a
Yep.
little." But you could literally record everything with a 57. Like you don't need
Dude,
crazy mics.
I did in college. Everything,
Yeah.
dude, I was scraping for mics like crazy in college. My drum overheads were like condenser prologue microphones from
Right.
like,
Right.
literally Radio Shacks. And I got, and my, dude, my 8-track was a cassette 8-track from Tascam.
Nice, yeah. Dude, I almost bought
And,
one of those recently. Just because every
the
time I
the
see one,
688?
every
Yeah.
that was like a 240 or 424, like Mark III or so. Just every time I
Yeah.
see one of those like old school cassette freaking Porta Studios, I'm always just like, I just want to freaking run this mix into it and then back in the computer and then on maybe 6 or 7 more times and then crank the high end like high end like crazy the whole time so I don't lose too much.
Yeah.
Right. Use
Yeah.
C
Well, that's like back in the day, you were always cranking the high end on input because you knew you'd be losing it on
losing
output,
it.
or you'd be trying to lose it for the tape hiss. Yep.
That's what I'm saying. So I
Absolutely.
just sort of like always get nostalgic about, it's the cheapest way to run tape. And I also have like 100 freaking Maxell, like, the guy sitting in the chair
The
with his head getting,
XL2Ss.
yeah,
Yeah.
just
I got those too.
I've just got like so many unopened freaking tapes that
Me too.
I'm just like, oh, I
Yeah.
want to use some of these, but it's
Now,
funny. So
I've got some tape decks. I mean, I've got a Tascam MS-16, which is a 1-inch 16 track. I've got the
that's
688,
nice.
which is a cassette 8-track. I've got a 38, which is a half-inch 8-track,
Hmm.
and
Dude,
then I've got a Fostex E2, which is a quarter track, full track, or quarter-inch 2-track, so the full size.
hmm
And then the
hmm
best thing I have, which I can't revive them, but I've got in my garage, technically 3, but really just 2 Studer A800s.
what?
But they're a fucking mess. They need like $10,000 worth of restoration at least. Like
Jesus.
between I got them some some studios going out of business, and I bought them years ago, and but they needed, like, they're in pieces, but I can't find anybody who will fucking do it. Like
Yeah.
the only people who will do it are like in California. They're like, ship me the decks. I'm like, are you fucking nuts?
Yeah.
Like, I can't ship these decks to you.
No.
Like,
You got to drive them.
but I dream. Yeah, I know. I dream of getting those things running one day. That'd be the
Yeah.
shit. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because
Closest.
to me, I think that was like the ultimate one. Like the A800 with the Transformers was like the deck.
Yeah. Yeah. I think, I don't remember which one Albini had, but it was
He had the 820.
the 820. Yeah.
Yeah. So this
Yeah.
is like a
Well,
little bit more modern with the digital meters.
right.
The
Right.
800 is the one that the 800 is the one that UA did the
UA.
plugin of.
Yeah. I love
Yeah.
that. Everybody uses the U8, the 800.
Yeah.
But it depends what you're doing. Like, I dream of the ATR 102 because I mix. I mostly
Yeah, yeah.
mix.
Mixing. Yep.
So I just want that. And, I don't know, for some reason, of course, I also would love to do a multi-track recording with live band play, just fucking turn it on. So
But,
you're
but
right.
but a lot of what you do is like people send you stuff and you
Yeah.
you mix it for them.
Yeah. And it's just sort of I don't know, I really enjoy it because it's a different phase in the process where
Yeah.
I can just almost do more of my own thing is how I look at it.
I've done a lot of that. It's funny how a lot of it has gotten down to that where I get a lot of, like, some clients send me GarageBand stuff, and it's like, all right.
Yeah.
You figure out
Of
how to
course.
freeze the tracks out of it.
Right.
But yeah, I mean, I don't do it. It's so funny because, like, sometimes clients are so budget oriented, right?
Mm-hmm.
So as soon as they're like really budget oriented, it's like, man, like, I'm gonna work in the box because that way, this is my laptop. You want to tweak, I can tweak it. I'm not like bound to my studio. And I
100%.
find myself not using, like, because people are so budget oriented. It's like, no, you're not getting the manly. It's not going
Right.
through that.
Right.
You're getting through the fake manly.
Yeah.
And it's just kind of what happens because everyone's so budget oriented that even if you've got the goods, it's hard to. Yeah, I don't know what your rate is, but like it's hard. Like $50 an hour is probably what most bands max out at, unless they're working with a label. You can't really, and half the time, I'm sure you know this, you're putting more hours into it than you're billing them.
Oh yeah. Always.
Yeah,
Always.
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 They don't even fucking know.
No, they don't know. But it's also, and that's probably what I like about it to a certain degree, is like, you send me this stuff as good as you can, and I'll send it back as good as I can. And it's kind of up to me to get it there. I'll work crazy hours. Sometimes you got to break and you can't do it. And you got to just, like, this song, I need to clear my head with it. So you wait a couple days and you come back to it. Like, this, I sort of like I don't know, when you have a lot of that going on, you don't have to, like, beat it up. Whereas I feel like if you got a band coming in, it's like they got to get it. And if they don't get it, it's like, man, like you said, you're at a budget, you're at a time. Mm-hmm. It's sort of a whole different, this is like best we can do,
It's the recallability that lets you do that. Like, I had this guy, so he hired me and he wanted to do this thing completely analog. No digital anything in it. So I'm like, all right, I twisted my studio into a knot. I took out it was the 1/2-inch 8-track.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, I had all this gear that I dug out, right? Literally the delay was a tape delay that I strung together with like a little Sony 1/4-inch deck I had. I mixed this whole fucking thing down. And it was like in 2 days we record and we mix. And then I left my studio like all crazy for like a week. And like 3 fucking weeks later, he's like, it's really good. Can we like raise the vocals? I'm like, fucking no. Like, this is a moment in time. Like, That is it. And he's like, oh. So his big, pure analog project, I'm finally like, dude, here's all I can do with you. And I just fucking dumped that shit back, like, dump the 8-track into Pro Tools.
Yep.
And it's a digital mix. And I'm like, now you can fuck with it all you want because you don't get it. Like, analog is just like, it's that moment. And once the mixer is struck and the room is gone, it's gone.
Yeah.
Like, that's it.
I
make a
love that
decision.
about it. I love that about it. I
Yeah.
have to say, like a part of me is that stubborn where, my safety that I always do, because like I said, as soon as I went to mixing hybrid, I was like, fucking, I am not recalling shit. In other words, like I'll do tweaks, but I do them like kind of my own way. If they don't get back to me in like a day, because I usually will leave it up for a day,
Right.
I,
Yeah.
I just print everything that I've done with the gear. I print it all back into Pro Tools, and then
Yeah.
all I have to remember is the mix bus, which luckily, like I only have really two different pieces of gear that I ever use on the mix bus. So like I've sort of kept my hybrid setup in a way where I can fill that up in notes. You know,
Yeah.
no
Yeah.
no high pass filter, like just little code words for myself, like the lows on 50 hertz or whatever. Just like mess around with a few things that'll get me close enough that if I had to run it all back through stuff to do something, I could. But just printing everything back is like my safety, and I feel like a lot of guys work that way, especially on a console. It's like, what are
I'm
you going to do?
sure.
How are you going to recall every knob on a console? It's like, forget that.
Dude,
So,
I think my neck is still messed up from recalling an SSL.
yeah, dude,
Like
it's,
looking up at that fucking monitor, and you got like fucking 80 channels with 100 knobs each. My neck is like, ugh.
they had
It's
some
like
nerve. They had some nerve calling that total recall. They should have called that grandma recall. They should have called it something
yeah.
as lame as it was, because it was anything but total
They
recall.
should have called it intern recall.
Right. they, they should have called it, pain in my ass recall, because
Totally.
it was, I don't know. It's not even like, why did they call it that? Like the flying faders. Yes, that's what it was. That's cool.
Right.
But there's no recall on
And,
those things.
and then half the time the engineers would be like, is this really recalled? It's not sounding the same. It's like,
look, I got to tell you,
Yeah.
I don't have that much shit going on, but if I turn the power off and come back tomorrow and turn it on, things don't always sound the same. Sometimes I have to like flicker the button, like, do the gymnastics on the
Yep.
buttons to get them to, sometimes the fader, like a little up, a little down. So it's so funny how just turning things off and on will make it sound different.
Yep.
It is what it is.
Humidity, like whatever the fuck happens, it's like, yeah, it's
How
a
long has
moment
it
in
been
time.
running? Because it warms up, and then I feel like it hits a sweet spot, and then it starts to not. I mean, I don't know. I find
Yeah.
the longer I work, sometimes the better the mixes sound. But if I like leave it on overnight and don't touch it and then fuck with it, it never sounds as good the next day. But maybe that's just my own head. I don't know. So I just do a thing. Like I print it in as soon as I feel like it's there, and then if they tell me it's not and this has got to change, well, now they're dealing with a version of it.
A generation. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like, yep.
And I always stress compare the two, because more often than not, what I found is people will like not
They'll
care
go
about
back
the
to the old
change if something else is way better. And it's like, look, this is analog. Vance Powell, man, he's gonna tell you the same
Yeah.
thing. Like the guys that
Yep.
do this shit, they'll all tell you it's like it'll be close, but it ain't gonna be exact. Tom Lord Algae, it'll be close. It's not exact, unless I mix
And
it in the box.
it's all those like mistakes that people don't realize are part of it. You listen to like half the whatever, even the famous one, like Louie Louie, right? You can literally hear the drummer go like "fuck" in the middle of
Yeah.
the recording because he messed up, and that's like that went out on the air and everything. And it's like,
Yes.
this is like the moment, and
Yes.
yeah, it's like everything is like so scrubbed and so overthought. I wanted to make a DAW, like one of my dream stupid projects. I want to make a DAW. Okay, you ready for this?
I feel like it's the
If you
same idea I've had already, but I can't wait. I'm going to tell
Okay.
you mine after yours.
All right, ready? If
Yeah.
you record something and then
Yeah.
you want to punch in, you
Yeah.
can punch in, but you won't get back what you had before.
Love it.
Period. Okay.
Love it.
If you keep on punching in and record, if you keep on playing the DAW back over and over and over and over and over again, you will eventually lose high end.
Oof, love it.
Okay.
Love it.
At some point, it will just one day it'll eat your file. Like you don't know when it's gonna happen because it's just like
I love it.
like just call it like 1974. Like this is the way it fucking was in a studio. Like one day
Yeah. Yeah.
it's gonna fucking eat your tape and
Yeah.
so sorry. Like or
Yep.
you can't like, oh, do you want to punch in? You think you can do that vocal better? I dare you, because
Yeah,
we will lose it if you try it. And just like make people live by all those rules. Oh,
that's
you
what we're
only get
missing.
24 tracks.
Yep.
Like, make a decision.
Honestly, this is perfect. I want to just add a couple things because there's a couple of extras I have in here.
Okay.
I want the DAW to literally, as soon as you hit record, the screen goes black. Like I don't want to
Okay.
see
Yeah. Yeah.
anything
Oh,
except for
there was another one
faders
I had.
and meters. Yeah, what's up?
Yeah.
That's
Yes.
all I want
Okay.
to see.
Another one. If you want to do another take, you have to wait 40 seconds.
Yes, yes. So that all these things are so helpful because they're deterrents to everything that makes things suck. The endless recording makes things worse. The fact that you have to wait makes you think about the part you played. The fact that you can't
Yep.
see the waveform means the way it looks doesn't matter. Like all these
Right.
things.
Infinite undo is like paralysis of creativity. You
I
know?
agree. It's such a good
Yeah.
way to look at it, man. It's such a good way to look at it. And that DAW would be great because I wanted a plugin to just black out my screen. I was like, how do I make this where I can mix?
Tom Massey made it, actually.
They made the
It's called,
blackout?
Tom
What?
Massey made a plugin called Listen.
Okay, that's cool. That's
And
very
it just
cool.
you just put it on, and when you hit play, I think it just went bleep, and you couldn't see shit. Your screen was black.
I love
Yeah.
it, dude. I love it.
He did that.
That's
He did
actually
that around like
interesting.
2010 or something, 2005, 2010.
So, but we
Yeah.
need a version of that where all like actually, if you combine it with the SSL software, you can kind of get there because it just shows the console and the knobs. You don't need to see you don't actually need to see anything else.
The problem is like that.
That's
yeah,
a tricky sell. It's a tricky
You
sell.
always have to make the business case for this shit, and that's where that's where all the good ideas die. Is
Yeah.
like, you know, fucking
Well,
money.
all you got to do is combine it with another plugin that is the tape sound that is better than all these other tape sound. Like in other words, we've seen tape plugins that are okay for mixing, but how do you like make a tape plugin that's like when you abuse tape recording it and the machine's not, like you said, hasn't been
It's
calibrated
the out of
in weeks,
calibrated machine.
hasn't been calibrated in weeks, and just sort of like how do you track through that? And then that's
Yeah.
the other part of your plugin, because a lot of people don't want to buy tape, but they'll pay for a plugin that does that. You know, I would. I would easily. If
Yeah,
I could track through a plugin that was a freaking, like, where are all the track through plugins? That's something I was thinking about the other day. I was like, there's plenty of plugins, but like, you could make or somebody makes a standalone something that you could track through that just destroys digital. That wins the whole cake, doesn't it? I mean,
Kind of. I mean, it's funny. I always see people running UA in that way, and that was like the idea with UA's like
Luna.
record mode.
Yeah.
Luna. Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. But just even the UA mixer had the record mode. You know.
Mm.
So every plugin you had would be what got recorded, not the
Right.
input.
Mhm.
And I guess UA is the closest with that in mind. If you're not going through their hardware, it's a whole pain in the ass to get the setup to just burn it onto tape. And the only DAW I know that will burn it onto tape easily is Reaper. Burn it onto the hard drive, I should say, because Reaper is the only DAW that you can click a button and tell it to record the output instead of the input, which is such a great feature.
Yeah, I guess
Yeah,
yeah. The workaround would be you'd have to record it and then just send the output to another track and put the plugin on there, right? I mean,
that's the way you do it, right? You do the aux and then you bust the aux
Yeah.
to a track to record. It's like,
yeah.
right? Because
Yeah.
it's like an old school split mixer at that point. instead of
Also,
like an inline mixer.
Yeah, and it's also like I only want the affected sound. Like there is no other. Like going in line with everything else we said. It's like make decisions on the way in is a huge part of making good stuff. So I want a freaking plugin that I can track through that's got like nothing to do with a DAW, that just gives me a wave file at the end that sounds better than every DAW could sound. You know, I don't know. In my opinion, I don't know what that means. I don't know if it's possible.
I agree. I think UA is the company that's gotten the closest to it.
Oh,
with their
definitely.
Interface. Yeah.
They've gotten close to it, but I don't know. It's still missing something. It's still like it's missing something. I don't know what it is.
It's the interface. It's the Yeah, I don't know what it is. I mean, honestly, personally, I kind of went straight from one way to the other, right? So when I was recording on tape, you'd obviously process on the way in
Hmm.
because you were starved of equipment. You only had one, two 1176s. You only had so much gear. So
Hmm.
you were processing on the way in because you knew you were going to like run out of gear on the way out if not.
Yep.
So, and then when Pro Tools comes out, and this is like way back in Pro Tools 3 when I started doing it this way, and I was like, fuck it. Now I have like a million Focusrite plugins. Like that was like
Hmm.
one of the first EQ plugins. And then I went straight from that to like preamp to input, like nothing else. And then
Right.
everything completely, totally in the box. And
Mm-hmm.
I would argue because like I got a friend who's all about like just like what you're saying, like process it on the way in, and I don't. I capture it. Like everything I do is like like the most I'll do is like a high pass filter.
Hmm. Hmm.
Maybe maybe I'll do a compressor on the way in, just because I've got like a like a Audioscape LA2A thing, and I
Hmm.
like the way that sounds. Only if I like the way that EQ sounds better than what I can get from the plugins. Obviously, I'll capture that on the input because it's the same mentality as back in the day. I've only got so much of this gear.
Hmm.
Like I got to use it on the way in, but um, yeah, for a lot of stuff, I just record 24-bit in, and it's no different. Like once you're capturing that A to D converter and then you put it through the plugin on the A to D converter, or you go through the plugin and then capture that, it's the same thing. It doesn't matter if you play it back and
Right. The
compress it
order
or
of events you're saying is the same because it's taking your analog signal from a voltage to ones and zeros, whether it runs through the plug-in first or after it's already ones and zeros. It's still ones and zeros
doesn't
after voltage.
exactly right
Yeah. So
exactly.
yeah, it's
Yep.
in it. I hear you. I think the thing for me is just like it
It's in the
sucks.
head.
It's
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 it's in the head.
it's
It's like make the decision. I don't want to think about it. Now it's like
yes, yes.
it's
At
the same
least
thing as when you get tracks from like the guys in Nashville. If you ever had this experience, like some band went to Nashville and they recorded,
hmm.
and they're like, okay, we just want you to mix. And I remember getting the fucking drums, and I just put all the faders to 0, and I was like, it's done.
Yeah, right.
Like I don't have to do shit. Like the guy just tracked it
Yep.
perfectly, and I was like,
Yep.
ugh, like amazing. Like I don't even
Ev-
have to change the level of the hi hat, and
And that's not because they went through nothing. They went through a lot. I bet you they went through
yeah,
12 1073s and freaking whatever
they
else they
nailed it.
had.
Yeah,
So
exactly.
for those drums, like they hit everything on the way in addition to the great mics and probably some compression
Right.
on the snare
Like
and on
all I
the,
had to do was add reverb. That's all I had to do, and the shit was even. I'm pretty sure they gated too,
yeah.
which I haven't gated in a long time. I edit my toms now,
Yeah.
and but that's because they had it and they had the time to set it up. But if I'm tracking a band, it's like levels, tape. I'll do this all later
Right.
because let's hit record. Let's go.
Right. Yeah.
Like
It's yeah. Look, man, if you're telling me you can't do it, you can't do it, all right? But what I want to do is get a plug-in that just fucks stuff up the way tape does in such a beautiful way. I just want it to mess it up. And all I'm saying is I don't want the choice by, oh, I could add this plug-in and mess it up. I want it to be messed up as if I ran through a tape freaking machine.
right. You
Like,
don't like actually what it is. Okay, you ready?
yeah,
Here's the tape plug-in to make.
yeah, yeah,
You launch it.
yeah,
It's fucked up.
yeah.
Okay, and then you actually got to calibrate it like an old school tape deck. You got to run tone
Yes,
into it. You got to check your
yes,
bias, and you got
yes,
to actually calibrate the motherfucker.
yes,
If not, it's just whatever you get. It'll like
yes.
randomly like today's the
Love this.
humidity is really high.
Love this. And if they could somehow make it where it's hard to see and get your hands in there, or you have to get under it, like, like a car, slide under one of those freaking things,
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
just make it hard and annoying and just, just make it somehow difficult to deal with. Bro, you're onto something. Because what you just said is like, I feel like that's the difference is it's too easy to get sounds that are just like meh. Make it hard to get sounds that are weird or unique because it wasn't done right or you had to rush that day. I don't know. For me, that's
Yeah.
the answer. I would record everything through it, and I think there's a
Yeah,
lot
it's
of
like give me something that like is variable and I have
yes,
to pay attention to, and not
yes,
that I just do the same thing every day. I know it's going to be the same. Yeah,
yes,
that's kind of a fun idea. It's the
yeah,
same idea as that overall DAW, right? Like it might eat my tape. I
yes.
don't know.
Yes, you
Like
just see a Pac-Man start running across the screen, and it's like it's over. Like maybe you even get a warning, like the Pac-Man's small at first, and as he gets bigger, it's like that. As soon as it hits a certain level, it's game over. So
yeah, you just give them the icon of a power plug, and the only way to stop it is to like pull the power plug.
yes, yes, and make put on the tape one, put a thermostat like in the room, and make that thing change, make the AC break in the room, so now all of a sudden it's way hotter that day. Like make just weird stuff. Like
Oh,
why
dude, you
why
could
not?
just do that. You could just make it so like you know what today the tape deck just flat out isn't gonna work. You just can't record today. Like, come back tomorrow
Dude,
after the tech arrives.
I was like waiting for the rest, and I just cracked up because that was hilarious, man. Yeah, no, that's the thermostat brought you to that, and I think
Yes.
that's because we need some real world stuff happening. We need
Yeah,
some we
you
need
got to
some
make
like
people fight for this. Yeah,
that's
exactly.
I don't. I
It's
think we're
too
onto
easy.
something. I think we're onto something. Uh,
Yeah, man.
I think we're definitely onto something here, dude.
If someone wants to make a DAW that does all that crazy shit we're talking about, please do, because I will. I don't know how I'd convince anybody to actually make it. You know what I mean? Like,
I know,
like it'd
man.
be so hard to. Like, I want something that's purposely fucked up. Like, what is wrong with you? Like,
We all
I
do. We're not the only one. You got to see. I bet you there'd be an outpouring of people on, because I know the people that I speak to all the time, and we're all just like, man, we want stuff to be different, and no one's articulated it in this way yet. But I bet you they'd be on board. I bet
yeah,
you.
I think all that other stuff is like really fun. Like, because like I said, if someone made that, like God bless them. I don't know that in my lifetime I'd be able to convince anybody to truly make a DAW that put you through all the pain of 1975.
100%.
Like,
a hundred
like
percent, dude.
but I think it'd be a beautiful thing if someone did it, because as long as they give me credit for like talking about that, but or you and
That's
I,
that's
like
what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying.
it was
Yeah,
fucking fun hanging out. Like,
definitely, dude. Definitely.
yeah,
Well, we should do it again. We should do it
I'd
again.
be I'd be happy to. Like,
Cool.
that's like
Excellent, man.
I'm a geek all day long. So
Same here.
um,
Same here.
it's funny because like I still do so many things the way I'm like, oh, that plugin's really cool. I'll get it, and then I like never use it, and then I'm like, a client comes in, I'm like, shit, like, and like we talked about, back to what I know,
Right.
boop, boop,
Right.
and you're
Right.
like back again with whatever it is. I mean, dude, I use the shit. I'll be honest, like I use the shit out of EQ7.
Yeah.
I use the shit out of Deverb, because like Deverb's like the PCM 60 of plugin reverbs.
Yes.
You know,
Gritty. You can hear it in a dense mix. It's all the things that pristine reverbs aren't. Like reverbs
yeah, it does
should be
it
dirty.
does like a bunch of things that
Yep.
are like one plugin. You can just like call it, and you're like this, that. The client's like that. You're like, great, done.
Yep.
Moving on, and yeah, it's like so.
It's also
funny.
naturally
Like,
it's dirty. It's like a bad reverb, which is good. It's hard to
Yeah.
really explain that to people, but you just don't get the same thing out of these beautiful reverbs. It's like, nah, I want it to be
yeah, it's like I don't
worse.
use a lot of convolution reverbs at all,
Right.
like
Yeah.
at all, actually, and
No.
I just yeah, it's like you find yourself in a rut, but you got to ask yourself: are your clients hiring you also because you have that thing that you do that you know how to do?
Right.
And so yeah, maybe it's like maybe sometimes that's not a horrible thing. Like, you have to know when you're in the rut, and then know when you're really doing it right, or if you're just doing it because you're lazy and you're in a rush.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Some of the best mixes were made under like rush circumstances too. Like that's something
Hmm.
I've realized the more like I would research shit that I loved, it'd be like, oh no, the band's coming in 2 hours. Best mix I've ever made. Like, because of that.
Dude, it's the same thing as anything. It's like when you do it like voiceover sessions. Like take one, 2 hours later, take 100.
Right.
The voiceover talent leaves. Like let's listen to stuff. No, not that one, not that one. You're like, what about this one? They're like, that one's great. What is that? It's like that's take two.
Yeah, yeah.
Fucking assholes.
That's always it. That's always it.
Yeah, and so it's like
funny.
half the stuff. Like your first blush on something, because you're not overthinking it at that moment. You're just like organically like, here's what it needs to be.
Yeah.
And instinct over, yeah, man, it's so easy to overthink shit.
Yeah.
Like I've done that a million times. I remember I ruined a fucking mix with a BBE, just destroyed it, and I'll like hate myself for that.
Yeah. Yeah.
I was like, oh, I can make it better. This thing's supposed to make things better. Like, fucking dumb.
Yeah. Nah, I've ruined a lot of stuff by putting too many things on.
Totally.
Way less stuff gets ruined by being like, how many times have you ever said, man, I ruined that mix because I didn't put enough on? I've actually never thought that in my life.
Never.
Yeah.
I've never had that at all. I've definitely
Right.
fucked it up with too much reverb, too much this or that.
Right. Or too much time
or
spent.
Too many mics.
Yes,
Getting all phasey and fucked up sounding.
Too many mics. But too much time spent is like the number one killer no matter what else you do. Even if it's like a mix that has very little on it. If you spend too much time, that's also too much. Like that too much thing, it's never like, I didn't spend enough time on this mix. I made a mix last night in 1 hour and 35 minutes after making the in the box mix in like 3 days. And the hybrid one like destroys it, and it was 1 hour and 36 minutes. It's just so funny how that works.
It's the less is more thing. It always it's true. Yeah,
Insane. It's insane.
Well, fucking yeah, we should do this again, man. This was
definitely
a lot of fun.
Yeah, man. It was great stuff, Rob.
Yeah, man. All right.
Good night.
Bye-bye.
Later.